Yeah, we are live.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay. Hey, it's the holidays. We gotta have a Christmas tree.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's the BAM tree.
Yeah. And you know, if you're interested in talking about the show, tweet it. Tweet
Right.
this.
Tweet this.
Right. Hey, we're gonna have a little bit of fun tonight, guys. Talk about some of the upcoming changes in the weather pattern. We'll talk about some stuff coming up with BAM and what we're doing. And if you have any questions, we'll be answering those too. So just here to have a good time, talk some weather. So let's just keep it fun and cordial. We're not here to get into deep-seated discussions or anything like that. So if you have questions, ask away. I'm going to let Brian go over a couple things. We had some issues with the website. I'm going to let him explain what's going on with all that stuff.
Well, basically, guys, after our live stream last week on Tuesday, we had some issues where we were having people getting bounced from the website, and spoke to our hosting provider, and whatever you want to say about GoDaddy. GoDaddy is still the top dog of hosting services just because of their size. And basically, I've had the account personally for over 8 years. And what happened was the website was actually stuck onto a server that was in the deep depths of GoDaddy world, and they couldn't find it. So basically, what happened was when they tried to move it over, a script messed up and aired out, and nobody knew anything about it. So it basically took an additional 3 days to get it taken care of because they had to manually move everything and so on and so forth. So anyways, we got it figured up, and it's now up and running. There's still a small little snafu about the stuff. If you're on a Comcast connection, they're looking into it, can't figure it out. But I've had some issues here at the house with it not working, so that's being looked into. But if you have any troubles not getting to the website, page cannot be displayed, blah blah blah, refresh the page. The other thing that we have is I wanted to talk about this video page. The video page that you guys are looking at currently on the website, we have. Let me actually bring it up here on my laptop real quick so I can look at it. Basically, you guys are looking at what I would consider a demo of the page. We want to run it through its paces and make sure everything's working first before we obviously give you guys, the full reign. Plus, we want to see how you guys take it and how you guys like it, and take your feedback and this, that, and the other, so we know what you guys want. And basically what we have is full high definition video stream box using our service that we are purchasing. And then the chat box right now, we had a question earlier offline, is this going to be the permanent chat for the paid service? And that answer is no. Being with the website being down for the past 5-6 days, I wasn't able to work on getting the actual chat room paid version or better version up and running. So maybe next week we'll get that taken care of. But right now, Chat Tango is going to have to suffice. It's at least allowing us to be able to chat with you guys and get your questions and be able to talk back and forth. So for right now, that's going to be it. Let us know if you have any other feedback on the website itself. Feel free to tweet us. Feel free to send us Facebook comments, messages, and send us messages here in the chat room. So not a big deal. Or use our actual. Let's see here. Let's do this. And let me bring up. Sorry, my bad. Keyboard behind me. So never mind. Again, like I said, it's a weird flaky thing that's happening with my Comcast connection. I can't get the website to come up on there. But anyways, what I was going to say was there's a contact us button at the top of the page that you can use, and on that contact us link, you just fill out a quick little form. You can type whatever you want to us and go from there. So, all right.
Good?
Yep, we're good on the website. If you have any questions, come our way.
Okay. Listen here, guys. We got a lot to talk about. I have a question from a guy asking, basically, why is the cold air being bottled up in the higher latitudes? That's a complex answer. There is a ridge in place in the southeast. There's a ridge in place in the eastern Pacific. There's also there just hasn't been a storm to come down to latch onto this polar front jet and really pull it down. The pattern is changing ever so slowly. The polar vortex is becoming more established, and it's beginning to instead of having two separate polar vortexes, we're beginning to have one. Whether or not this thing is gonna open up and we're gonna get bitterly cold Arctic air, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But it's just going. We need to get the right system to come along. We need to get the ridge out of the southeast. We need to get a good system to come along, latch on that polar front jet, pull some cold air down, and also have some good moisture with it. We really need a good, solid rain/snowstorm to hang around. Something to be a game changer. So, let's see. Yeah, another question was, when's the last time Indiana had 12 inches or more of snowfall? I would have to dig into some research on that, guys. It's been a while, I can tell you that right now. I know the most we've ever had in 24 hours in a one-day period is 12 inches, and that was back in 1965 in February. We had a foot of snow in 24 hours. That's probably the last time we've had a foot of snow in that time frame. That's actually the most we've ever had in that time frame, so it is. Maximum in a single storm is 16 inches in February of 1910. So you're getting back years ago that really have no effect on what we're doing now. Let's see here. Map 2004. I don't know. Like I said, I'd have to really dig into that and find out exactly when that occurred. But yeah, I mean, days like that we haven't had a day like that in a long time. So, thanks. We love the tree. Amanda did this. It's red, white, and blue for the colors, and so we love Christmas. So yeah,
I just need a band logo, right?
Yeah, we need something to top it off. But let's see here. Let's see. What is next? March here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Blizzard of 82 of 26 inches in 24 hours. Dan says snow apocalypse time. The charity, the Farmer's Almanac. The Farmer's Almanac is built off of statistical climatology. It's built off of many compiled years of data and different events and different temperature extremes and stuff like that. There's some forecasting involved with it. They're looking at teleconnection patterns and stuff like that. I don't buy into that stuff. I have a really hard time even buying into stuff out past 10 days. Usually if I'm tweeting or posting stuff about that, I will specifically verify or indicate that it's model guidance. It's not a forecast from BAM. It's just saying, hey, the European model is saying this at this time. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's a forecast model. a forecast model generates a forecast. So a meteorologist is making a forecast from a forecast. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. I mean, we're predicting the future, trying to.
And the big thing you got to remember is a lot of information isn't really given out to. You can do some research on this by googling the different models and stuff, but there is a lot of in-depth information of how the actual computer model generates the information that they do, and we've actually been building one here in-house, and that computer model is currently right now is based off of obviously the GFS info because it's really easy to get our hands on, but you know, there's a lot of in-depth coding that is taking place there, and what happens is you know, the government's paying for it, and you know, obviously the European model right now is the best, but because of the type of computer coding that has been done, it uses what is called 4D. It's a 4-dimension computer model, whereas the GFS is using statistical information from the past, and it's only doing a 3-dimension. So there's an extra dimension into it that makes it a little bit more accurate sometimes. So.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with that. The GFS, I tell you, once we get out past about 144 hours, this thing is forecasting storms off of previous data. It's a bias. It's going off of previous events, previous storms, previous temperatures. It's just statistics that are programmed into the model. So statistically, it's going to forecast some type of big snowmaker on the East Coast, and we're going to call it a nor'easter, and everybody's going to get crazy about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. If you're out in that time frame, forget about it. I don't even want to talk about it because it's just not realistic.
Yeah, Mark, this microphone, again, the website being down and this, that, and the other, we didn't have a chance to really test out the microphone stuff. There's a little bit of static in the microphone, but again, second go around here. We're using, you know, different pieces and parts. This is actually one of our cameras from our truck. It's actually our dash cam put onto a tripod and everything. So bear with us on the microphone. We'll work on that. So.
Anthony Edgar, you asked the hardest season for models to grab onto, and that would easily be the transition from fall into winter. You're in the transitioning phase where you know, you're trying to get block setting up. Forecast models are forecasting block setting up off of previous events, but they're not setting up, or they're forecasting the block, and then the block never sets up, and then you have all these meteorologists talking about a major pattern change coming that never comes. So latching on to the big pattern change, you know, I don't fully agree with that theory. My theory is let's talk about all the various computer models. Let's give ideas on what we think each one's going to do, and once it comes in within the 7-day forecast, we'll forecast it. You know, we'll draw up the charts and we'll make a forecast. But we're not going to say, you know, if you look on the page, we've tweeted the GFS and the European the last couple days talking about the possibility of a major snowstorm / severe weather event next week. Do I personally think it's going to happen? No, I don't. I don't think there's going to be a major blizzard. I don't even know if I think there's going to be severe weather yet. There's many different outcomes and solutions that are possible. So winter is very, very difficult for the models to pick up on. Mark, there really isn't any. I don't see anything that far out, any tornadic weather Monday. You know, if we have a squall line come through, you know, we'll have some damaging straight line winds, and you know, sometimes you can get the spin ups in front. We call those quasi-linear convective systems, or QLCS spin ups, that are in front of these squall lines. We've chased them, we've videoed them. It's just a weak spin up in the front of the storm, and you know, it can do some damage. However, I don't see there being a tornadic threat yet. I'm not ready. I'm not really prepared to say there's going to be a tornado threat Monday. I don't think that's, you know, we have to get that trough, first of all, needs to be negatively tilted. We need to be, the models are forecasting a large amount of moisture return. Can you go to the screen so we can show the models? I'm going to pull up the models here. This is off Alan Hoffman's weather page, AmericanWX.com. This guy, he's got a really great page. If you visit it, donate some money to him a little bit, just for making all this data available. This is a great website. So let's go to the European images. Scroll down. We'll go to the 12Z images. Should be towards the bottom. That may have been 12Z. Go back up. Having a hard time seeing.
Oh, I think.
Oh, this is GFS. That's why. There we go. We pull up the European runs. 12Z. We'll go to 500 millibar heights North America. Go up. Right there. North America. We'll take it out to 120 hours. This is off this morning's European run, operational model run here. And we can see there's a little bit of an elongated low here beginning to develop in the northern panhandles of Texas down into the southern plains. You can see the polar vortex up north there is really starting to establish itself. It's really starting to kind of become one. We have a ridge that's developing in the eastern Pacific. You can see a nice ridge developing there. A little bit of a positive PNA per se, a little bit, but I don't really see the PNA going positive. In fact, trends are taking it negative. There's still a little bit of a ridge in the southeast. That ridge is pulling off. You can see it beginning to exit now off into the Atlantic. Let's go to the next frame to 144 hours. Now we can see the low sharply, vastly, it's moved very quickly. Here we're looking at 500 millibar heights and surface pressure. So we have a low pressure center now over portions of the Great Lakes and the northeastern portion of the country. This would not be a major snow event for the East Coast. I don't think we're looking at a nor'easter out of this thing. You know, snow on the backside for a few hours, sure. But you know, we need to get, in order for there to be severe weather, for one, the moisture return has got to be better. The trough needs to be negatively tilted. It needs to be able to get a little bit of moisture advected into it from the Gulf. You know, and that brings us to another point. You know, let's move out to the next frame. The Gulf has been shut off all year. The pattern has been so progressive, and here's the second low I want to talk to you about. But the pattern has been so progressive that we haven't been able to really grab energy from the Gulf of Mexico, moisture that is. So what's to say this runs different? To, you know, basically say, okay, now all of a sudden we're going to get all this moisture from the Gulf. We're going to have a major blizzard, and you know, okay. I mean, you could say off of this run, the European, that Tuesday morning of next week could be a messy one. You've got a slightly negatively tilted trough here, or upper level low, 996 at the surface. You've got cold air coming in on the backside. Our pressure gradient is very tight, so we got a lot of wind, especially coming in from the northeast there on the backside of that. Again, not a snowmaker for the East Coast, but potentially this would be a favorable track, perhaps for some measurable snow in the Ohio Valley, portions of, let's say, you know, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. But again, it's way too far out to get into those types of specifics. And John Dishauer. Hey, how you doing, John? He has a very good point, that we need to work on the snowpack over Canada before much cold air comes down. Now, that's a really good point. You know, we really need that to happen so it can modify the air. You know, there's been a lot of talk of December 12th, this is going to be the game changer, that winter is coming. No, it's not. I don't buy that. If we can go out to the next image, Brian, let's go 2 slides out. Let's go to 216. Look at this, guys. This is a zonal flow again. We've got a ridge in the southeast. You know, this next coming system is not going to be a pattern changer. We're going to have shots of colder air, but I'm here to say I think that December ultimately could end up above normal in temperatures, especially if we do not get the snowpack like we've been talking about. Granted, it's growing. It's a lot larger this year than it was last year, but still, I mean, we've got a zonal flow. Okay, the polar vortex is brutal up there. You can see the cold air up there. It's very cold, but I don't see a pattern changer coming. And I want to show you why. We go to the teleconnections. Go back to the home page. We go to the up on the left. Model teleconnections from 12Z this morning, line graph right there, up top. No, bottom right there. Refresh that. That's today. Okay, so we take a look at this screen here on the left, guys. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm catching up on the chat here real quick. Okay, hey, thanks for the compliments, guys. Very nice of you. The North Atlantic Oscillation, the NAO here on the top left. We're getting on what we call this basically measures the pressure between the Icelandic low and the Azores high. The European model here, you can see the blue dashed line with the stars going up, the outlier here. It has a big jump here into the positive for the North Atlantic Oscillation. That is the opposite of what we want to see. Okay, and I just don't see anything really trending or taking a big dip. Okay, I don't see it a big major pattern changing coming down, you know, indicating okay, we're going to get the traffic jam that we need to allow these storms to get jammed up on the East Coast and drag in the cold air behind them and have a blizzard. I would like to see that thing down way down. You know, -400, -450. If we can go down to the PNA, the PNA is what's giving us that eastern base, that eastern Pacific Ocean ridge out there that would allow for a buckle in that jet stream, allow for the colder air to come down. That goes negative pretty strongly around the 12th and 16th. We don't want it to go negative. We want it to be positive. We get out in the further ends of the month, and yeah, sure, it's going positive, but it's been doing that for a long time. We go down to the Arctic Oscillation, and this thing is going positive. It's the opposite of what we want it to do if we want to get cold. We need a big area of high pressure over the higher latitudes in order for the Arctic air to spill down into the central U.S. And to create an active storm track into the central U.S. This thing isn't favoring that. Okay, these are all teleconnections that we can use to kind of try and help, you know, to try and help predict weather a little bit farther out. Bottom line is, I don't see a major pattern change coming, personally. I don't see it. You know, maybe someone else does. Fine, that's great, whatever. The models have done it, though, 2 or 3 times this year. They've been talking about, you know, oh, we're going to have a blizzard. The European forecasted a blizzard a week and a half ago. It forecasted a blizzard yesterday. You know, okay, well, we haven't seen a blizzard in a long time. Okay, so I need something that's going to say, okay, now we're going to have a blizzard. What's the determining factor? I don't see it. So that's my outlook on next week. You know, we could have some thunderstorms, perhaps a squall line, maybe, depending on the track of this low. You know, 100 miles north, south, east, or west in the track of this thing makes all the difference in the world. There is no way to accurately tell you how far out, or this far out, where this low is going to track. The low could shift a 50 to 75 mile track within 24 hours. We saw that last year.
Yep.
We had a forecast of snow to 3 to 5 inches in central Indiana. Ended up getting 8 inches plus in northeast Indiana from a low that decided to track just a little bit farther north. So the computer models their guidance. So we have to put in the common sense here, the pattern recognition. As Brian Wilkes was a big teacher of that, is pattern recognition is trying to apply the common sense into the weather models so we can make a better forecast, a more accurate forecast. Yeah, Matt, the low could shift on the day of the event. That's exactly right. It really can. And the slightest shift in that thing is a night and day difference. And there's so much to... the low doesn't shift. The models miss the track. Yeah, no kidding, right? I wish that's the way that it went. Actually, I mean, it is a very good point. The models will forecast their idea of where the low wants to go. And it may not go there. It may take that track, but then it may actually decide it wants to go here. And the forecast models will change their forecast of where the snow wants to fall. But in all reality, a lot of nowcasting or a lot of looking at surface observations and surface maps in the wake of a winter storm is going to be your best way of generating a forecast. And definitely using higher resolution models focused in on a smaller area. You get into the global models and you don't have the best accuracy when it comes to the local stuff like that. But let's see. Sorry if I've missed some questions here, guys. I've been on a rant. But that's basically my take on next week. I don't see a blizzard. Maybe a couple inches of snow somewhere in Indiana, fine. But, I ultimately have a thought that December could end up warm. I mean, we're shattering records right now across the country of high temperatures. So I mean, we're even a little bit warmer than average here in Indy this week. Even though it's cooler, we're still warmer than average. So when it gets down to the nuts and bolts of things, this month could end up above normal. So we'll see. Yeah. Matt says the CPC agrees, the Climate Prediction Center. So those guys base a lot of their information off GFS runs, ensemble data and stuff like that. They had the warm up. They nailed it, Matt. You and I were talking about this last week. They did call for above normal temperatures, and boy, did they hit that nail on the head. 69 degrees here the other day in December. I can't think of a time where I remember that. Was it back in 02 or something?
Yeah.
05. I forget what the day was, but
sorry.
Tornadoes can happen anytime. Yeah, okay. Yeah, tornadoes can happen anytime. You guys have any other questions? One thing I want to point out too is, there's always a lot of talk of people saying, okay, well you forecasted this 5 days ago. You said, okay, there's going to be a blizzard here. There was a saying that my professor had taught me last semester. I don't remember the exact saying, but think of it like this, guys. The planet is made up of 70-some% water. Like 70. It's a very large percentage of water, okay? And that's a lot of blind spots, okay? So, when we get into long-range forecasting or medium-range forecasting, and we're trying to tell you what the models are saying, again, we go into the statistics end of it. That's kind of what the models are programmed to say. We share the model guidance with you because I like to do that. We just need to be clear that, if we tweet an image of the European model that says there's going to be a blizzard next week, that's a solution. That's guidance. It's a forecast. It's a forecast off of a forecast, so that doesn't mean we're going to have a blizzard. It just means we're sharing with you what we're seeing. You can find our forecast when we actually post our 7-day forecast, and we have graphics and text about it. Okay, so I want to make sure people are clear about that. You know, and I'll make sure I'm clear when I post. You know, that it's all just guidance. Hey, John Dishour, real good stat here. St. Louis is 26.3 degrees above normal, and Indianapolis is 21.5 degrees above normal for this month so far. So talk about I mean, come on. You know, that's warm. I mean, you know, you're going to need some bitter cold, a streak of days below normal to make a dent on the, you know, we're really making it difficult now for us to end up with a cold, snowy December. We would really need the floodgates of cold Arctic air to open up for quite some time for us to really break that, in my opinion. M.L. Dudley, in Henrysville, March 2nd of this year, we had an EF4 tornado roll through, and the next day we had an inch of snow on the ground.
It was talking about at the same time, snow on the ground.
Okay, you mean at the same time? No, I don't know. I've never seen that personally. I've never.
I don't think it would really be called a tornado at that point in time.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's a good question. We can check it out real quick. But John says highs need to be in the 20s for several days to get things back to normal. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would have to be bitterly cold for quite a while. And I know John's a meteorologist. I don't see it, John. Maybe, I don't know if you do. Maybe you can give your opinion on a short tweet there. You know, I don't know if it's looking like that, especially in the short range, anyways. Hey, yeah, it's definitely going to save you on our heat bill. That's for sure. Yeah, Matt, exactly. I with the teleconnections, you know, until the blocking gets set up in Greenland, until the tropics really get going, I don't see it happening. It's something that's been talked about by many now for the last few days. I've seen a lot of very experienced meteorologists that have been predicting a major pattern change. I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to have shots of cold air because this is winter and that's normal. That's what happens in wintertime. We have shots of cold air and potential snow. But statistically speaking, guys, in the month of December, we only average 6.9 inches of snow going back to 1981. So, you know, maybe we'll have that abnormal month or time where we have a big 7-inch snowfall or whatever. But I don't see that happening. Yeah, we're coming through the snow. Yeah, John, it brings up a point we talked about 10 minutes ago. Is beyond 8 days, the time period models rely heavily on climatological data, and that's dead right. I mean, that's basically kind of the assumption we're at with it now. You know, the website's been down for a few days, but we typically post an updated 7-day forecast. That's as far out as we really want to go. Keep in mind, we are chasing storms too, and we have a whole other end of the spectrum we like to focus on. So we're not going to get into the seasonal forecasting, but yeah, that's very true with the models. That's a very good point. Does lake effect snow play a part in the state's average? As far as, yeah, are you talking snowfall? As far as snowfall numbers? Absolutely, yeah, it would definitely take a part in snowfall numbers and accumulations. Anywhere total, okay. Okay, yeah, Nicole. Yeah, that it does. Anywhere that snow accumulates, it's documented by the Weather Service, and it's all configured in to the grand total. The average snowfall for Indiana is 25.9 inches annually. Okay, that's average since 1981. So, yeah. Are you? John says. I don't know. In mine you are.
Well, it says that I'm.
Oh, maybe in mine. Okay. Sorry, Reed, it's a little confused there. But John says they don't want to show 7 days. Yeah. You know what? I interned with Brian Wilkes out of Indianapolis here in '59. And I mean, I was exposed to the reality of things. Let me tell you, there is I mean, be correct when I say this and not be rude, but a lot of TV meteorologists, they don't do the real forecasting. They don't get into the real nuts and bolts of things and print out the charts and calculate thicknesses and track disturbances at 500 millibars, and there's a lot of things you can pick up in that layer. There's a lot of things that can be told just by looking at the different model data and actually forecasting. When 25-day forecast, yeah, I don't even know what that's generated off of, some kind of imaginary computer system. But you can make a real accurate forecast off of critical thicknesses and actually analyzing the charts. MOS, or model output statistics, is just that. It's model output statistics. So, it's a lot of the 7-day forecasts that you see on local TV stations are just that. It's the GFS 7-day MOS forecast. It's an automatic generated system. It takes the human element out of things and puts it on there for you. So.
I might change the number here and there.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go 2 degrees cooler here. Based off of what? I mean, do you know why you're doing that, or are you just doing it? I mean, so, yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys, I know a lot. We know a lot of the TV meteorologists here in Indianapolis. They're very nice people. We are friends with a lot of them, and I'm not saying anything bad about any of them. I just know that when it comes to Brian Wilkes and the theory he's taught me, it's a real forecasting session. I mean, my first few months of him I did nothing but draw off 500 millibar charts and calculate thicknesses and height falls across the country. So I got to learn how to forecast, and I think that's important. John, 15-day knowing.
I know a lot of people think that snow. Do you think it would be more freezing rain than snow this month?
Tornado cloud, your question. There's really no way to answer that. That is such a short-range type of forecast. It's a good point, and I could see where you would think that, but there's really no way for me to accurately answer that. How can we get in the Christmas spirit with no snow in December? And yesterday I was in shorts and a t-shirt. Yeah, I don't know. I love snow. It's part of the reason why I got into weather. Amanda loves snow. We like snow.
I don't like snow.
Brian doesn't like snow.
I'd rather have it like this.
Yeah. So, I guess just pop in some Elvis Christmas music. Maybe watch some Christmas Vacation and get you a BAM tree going. And you've got your Christmas spirit. I guess that's I'm with you. Home Alone, that's a good Christmas movie, classic.
Sorry, Maddie, I can't help it. I don't like being cold. I work outside in the cold. I don't like being cold.
My computer is going for a vacation, evidently. Sorry, you're losing. Hey, Matt, are you okay now? Are you good? Can you see it and everything? Is anybody having any problems with the stream or the mic? Okay, cool. Thanks, John. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks. if it's going to be cold, it needs to be below zero. John said, yeah, absolutely. Now, I mean, if it's going to be cold, it might as well be cold, and it might as well snow a lot, you know. I mean, come on. Gosh, I don't know. I'm just not feeling the big cold coming down yet, you know. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing it.
You guys are telling me I don't like the snow. I'll invite you guys out to go work with me on my full-time job. We'll go out on a 80-foot boom lift, replacing a security camera up on a light pole at a place that's really dirty and nasty and lots of sleeting and freezing rain and snowing and everything, and slipping and sliding around. That's why I don't like snow.
I'm going to talk to you guys about the European weeklies. I can't show those on here for legal reasons, but and the European weeklies and the GFS ensemble, they are starting to show more of a block setting up near Greenland. So this next period of cold coming in may not be one that lasts, but at the same time, we may be looking at perhaps colder air. The models have been forecasting a block setting up for quite some time now, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know how much I really buy into that right now. The weeklies are showing it. Also, keep in mind, though, 3 weeks ago, the European weeklies had December in the freezer. They had it cold and stormy and whatnot, and that's not the case right now. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. You know, it's just guidance. It's another possibility. B-Man Fields, we were just talking about that earlier. Potentially, there could be some severe weather, and there may be some snow on the backside of this thing. If it favors the track from the morning European run, possibly yes. Maybe some thunderstorms followed by a couple inches of snow. But again, it's a week away, so it's still out. It's kind of getting in reach, but it's not totally there yet, in my opinion. So, do I think we'll see a blizzard this winter?
We have until March.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
winter's still
said,
coming.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, guys, I just can't get into that long range stuff and the buying into that stuff. That's just me personally. So if I sat here and told you we were to have a blizzard and we didn't have one, you probably wouldn't follow me anymore. So gotta be careful about that, you know. Anon 9396. You know, it goes back to again when we have our first snow. Potentially next Tuesday morning we may have. We've already had our first snow, by the way. We picked up some snow in November. Officially at the airport, we measured a quarter of an inch of snow on November 12th. So officially we've already had our first snowfall. But as far as accumulation, maybe next Tuesday, I really don't know. John, that's a great post there. You know, go with the statistics of it. Indiana's seen maybe 2 blizzards. I don't know. I don't really know. I'd have to research it, but yeah, the chances of having a blizzard per se are slim to none. So it's a very good point. You didn't get the snow in Terre Haute. Okay. Yeah, you may not have had the snow there, but I know here at Indy we did. I know a few of us got a dusting, a coating on the ground. Pretty cool. We were able to kind of keep an eye on that system for about 6 days. The European handled that one very well. We were able to talk about snow chances 5 or 6 days out. And that's pretty rare. So that's pretty cool. But again, yeah, dusting in the grass only. Like I said, it's not, you know, a quarter of an inch of snow is a quarter of an inch of snow. Everybody really had a dusting. It's enough to cover the roofs and the cars and stuff like that, tarps and stuff like that. But Oh, sorry, Matt, your computer is failing you there. Check here real quick, guys, to see if I have any more questions over on the page. Melody Cameron has said something over on the Facebook page about really beginning to wonder if we were headed for another winter that wasn't in central Indiana. Yeah, I know. It's all depressingly familiar to me. You know, last year during my internship with Wilkes, we always said, okay, the other shoe's going to drop. This one's got to latch on. Okay, that one didn't. Well, this one's going to. Okay, you know, we always saw the cold in the long-range charts, but the cold and the snow never came. So, and I'm beginning to see a little bit of that here in the beginning stages. I know this is a transitional month going into winter, but you know, when you talk about pattern recognition, it's kind of scary. So, you know, yeah, it's possible. Dish Hour blizzard in '95. I think that's correct, actually.
It was 93, wasn't it? Or was that not here?
I'm not sure. I was just checking the stats here to see if I could see. Yeah, 95, 96 was the fifth snowiest winter on record here in central Indiana. 37.8 inches of snow. So yeah, that was definitely a snowy year. Along with 2002, 2003, almost 47 inches of snow here in Indy. So yeah, wow. Okay. But I tell you what, we're still not in the top 10 for the least amount of snow. You'd have to get around 5.8 inches to be number 10 in that category. So at least we're not there yet. 6-inch drift. Wow. A blizzard is defined by strong winds and low temperatures. The difference between a blizzard and a snowstorm is the strength of the winds. You are correct about that. There must be a sustained wind or frequent gusts greater than 35 miles per hour for a period of time. Okay, so yes, the blizzard would be sustained by wind. You know, when you look at, is there any possibility of getting back to the models? I'm going to pull the models back up so I can show you what I mean by, let's go to a European, back to the same image. We'll look at the morning runs, and we'll go to 500 millibar surface pressure here for North America, take it to 168. When we talk about the winds, you know, from a system, we talk about the isobars, and the closer these things are together, you can see these white lines here, the windier it's going to be. Depicted off of this model, you could make the case for 30, 40, 45 mile per hour winds on the back side of this thing. That would classify as blizzard conditions. Question is, you know, does this model verify? You know, but that's how we look at the winds. We get that pressure gradient tight, closer together, and that wind has come streaming around. Yeah, for a good example, this is a kind of a setup of what like Sandy looked like a little bit here. You can see that's kind of where the low center right over us. We got the winds from Sandy, okay? We got the winds from Sandy, but we didn't have the moisture. We didn't have the cold and stuff in time to have a blizzard. But that would have been a good setup, you know? That's a very good point. Big John, Bingo John. I didn't see what you were talking about on the ratings there. Oh yeah, absolutely, ratings. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I can guarantee you the first big snow of Indiana this year, 1 to 3 inch snowfall, will be top story. The salt trucks will be going crazy. The mayor will be on TV. It'll be the first big snow in central Indiana since last season. Well, yeah, no kidding. So, yeah, that's just media hype. That's ratings.
BFD, I think that just be considered just an ice storm. So.
You know, that one a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago, back in February, that ice storm, it could have been a crippling event. Luckily, you know, temperatures were just a little bit warmer on that setup back in February a couple of years ago, but that could have really shut the state down for many days. So that was a close one. Nicole, if this is the Nicole that works at Lowe's, yeah, absolutely, John. It really is. It's the producers. No kidding there. Yeah, yes, and Avon, Nicole. I know last year, you know, we had so many leftover snow blowers, and I was able to talk to a corporate manager who was in the store. They actually, their data, they buy it seasonally ahead of time based off of seasonal forecasts from a company they use. They wouldn't tell me the company name that they use for the forecast, but they buy ahead of time based on this company that's giving them this weather data. So apparently last year there was a forecast of a lot of snow because we had so many snow blowers and salt and shovels and stuff left over. We're pulling it out from last year to sell it this year. So generators too, exactly. I mean, we just had so much. Whoever gave them that forecast, I don't know. It goes to show you that
AccuWeather.
Yeah, it goes to show you that it's crap, you know? Yes, AccuWeather, absolutely. I posted their winter weather forecast a few weeks ago on my personal page, and I got to tell you, it was funny. It was nowhere near correct. You got any other questions? Let me catch up here for a second, guys, and see if I got any new questions coming in. Melody Cameron says, am I the only one that thinks a snowstorm of less than 6 inches of snow is pointless?
Yes. Go ask Amanda.
Yeah.
Amanda will say anything that's not even a foot of snow is nothing. She's from Wisconsin, so
yeah,
snow is nothing to them.
Whole different ball game up there. But us here, 6 inches would be considered the blizzard of 2012. I guarantee that would be the name of it. You know, Blizzard 2012 tonight at 10. You know, all that stuff. So whatever.
Cheers. Charity, I don't think that would work too well if you walked into Lowe's or Home Depot or anything and asked for the last year's inventory discount. I think they're not going to tell you that that's from last year.
Sorry, I saw your question earlier, Heimer Spotter. I don't know how to say that, but you know, if the trough comes in and decides it wants to get a little bit of a negative tilt on it, and what I mean by a negative tilt is put a dot in Iowa, then put a dot in Kentucky, okay? Iowa, Kentucky, connect the line, it's negatively tilted, okay? When you're looking at poleward straight ahead, you're tilting it back roughly 315 degrees, okay? The poleward. Positively tilted trough, draw a dot in Missouri and a dot in Michigan, connect the line, looking poleward, that's a positively tilted trough. So what I mean by that is it's not able to evict the moisture in. It doesn't have that tilt where it's drawing in the southern southeast or the south wind, if you will. And you know, when you see these computer models that have a negatively tilted, elongated low trough, but they have tons of moisture, well, you know you can throw that run out because in meteorology it's not possible to have moisture return like that with a positively tilted trough. Okay, so if this trough can come in with a negative tilt, it can come in with upper level winds backing it, and we get some good vorticity advection coming up in there. What we need is warm air advection at the surface. We need cold air advection behind it. We need the dew points to come up. You know, we really need things to amp up here. So it's possible that if this thing comes in the way the Europeans are picking it, it could be a snowbanker. Will it come in that way? That's the question. Any other questions here? So guys, we're going to be looking at our closing up here in just in a few minutes. Do you have any questions you want to get in? Please feel free to ask us.
You predict rain Saturday and Sunday after 10 miles and rain for walk outside.
If you're talking about this Sunday, absolutely it's rain, without a doubt. I don't see any potential changeover, you know, maybe until Tuesday morning. This weekend's rain, without a doubt, and not necessarily that cold of a rain either. Matt thinks absolutely. IU couldn't be more happy with them. What a great season. Colts too. Let's see. I'm trying to see if we're missing the questions here. How freaked out were you when we saw the Henryville tornado? Well, we were freaked out after the tornado.
It took us a week or more.
Yeah, it's for our nerves to calm down. Guys, that's a once in a lifetime event for a town like that. Typically, okay, I'll say that knocking on wood. Typically, you just don't see an EF4 tornado on the ground for 50 miles. So yes, that was pretty freaky. I mean, we watched the town get ripped apart. You know, we filmed that. So yeah, it was wild. That's for sure.
I'm trying to find your CSD Station 2. I'm trying to find your info here real quick. I'm out here on the website, so bear with me. I'll get back to you on the chat.
I've had a couple people ask me about jobs as far as doing this for a living, without education or whatnot. Here's the deal. Brian and I, Brian has a lot of education in this computer, camera, talking, technology stuff, and my education is in meteorology. We got together a couple years ago and decided that we wanted to start a company and slowly work into weather consulting, streaming extreme weather, a website for advertisement. So we kind of built this ourselves. The education definitely helps. I couldn't really sell myself all that well if I wasn't almost a meteorologist. You know, and if Brian didn't have all this education to make all this stuff work, you know, education is definitely highly recommended. But as far as doing something like this for a living, we're not doing it for a living yet, but things are looking very good for us. We're moving into something that could be good for us coming this year, and that we hope to make it a career. It's very difficult to make a career out of this stuff.
The one thing that you gotta remember is you know, how do you put yourself out here, give you guys the best product, and that's the thing that we have tried to come up with, is how to keep things new, exciting, for you guys to enjoy, and you know, pay us that yearly fee, that annual fee, to continue supporting our website. And you know, we all work full-time jobs. My retirement fund is, you're looking at it. I mean, everything that is in this company is from my retirement fund. So that truck sitting out there that you guys are going to be watching the cameras from, you know, so on and so forth. So you know, it's one of those things where, you know, we've invested into it. We think we have something here, and it seems like you guys enjoy it. And again, we want feedback. What do you guys like, and what do you guys want us to change, and so on and so forth. And we'll try to adjust. So it's not easy, and it's not just a sure thing. You can go out and chase a storm or whatever. You're gonna make a ton of money. It doesn't happen. You can watch Reed Timmer and everything from Storm Chasers. They made a lot of money from Discovery Channel, and they made a lot of money from their sponsors on there. And we have sponsors, but they provided us with a lot of stuff, so we didn't have to pull some things out of our pocket, such as some of these cameras and stuff like that. So are we making a living? Like Michael said, no. We still work full-time jobs, but with your help, we can try to devote more of our time from that full-time job to giving you a better product, and that's what we're trying to do. Trying to get where Michael's not working as many hours at his current job, and more towards forecasting the weather and allowing us to go chasing wherever we need to. So.
Yep, absolutely. Any last-minute questions, guys? We're going to sign off in just a minute here. If you have any last-minute questions, please shoot them over, and I'll try to answer them for you. We still got people in the chat here. We're still doing people. Yeah, Matt, we'd like to do it again next week, depending on the weather. If we've got a big storm system here, you can guarantee we will be chasing it. There's no doubt about that. Especially we're now exclusive with Fox 59. We provide them all the extreme weather footage here in Indiana. So if there's any, that's where we're going to be. We're going to be providing that footage, and the stream will be going. If there's not, then yes, we will certainly be back here chatting it up. So. Yeah, we definitely did get some storm damage from Sandy. We had some stuff around here, some siding and stuff ripped off, so that's a good point. We've talked with Clay. We've talked with U of Indy this year about doing some balloon launches and sending up another camera shot up there.
They got to us late. They got to us about 3 days out, and we already had something pre-planned already for that day. So we weren't able to do this last one, but we'll have another one. The pod is actually right there.
Right over there.
It's that white silverish thing at the top of the camera angle there. So it's ready to go. It just needs to be attached to a balloon and sent to space.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Real quick, I think I found your figure here, CFD station number 2. I'm seeing here only 37.91 last year for 2011. I'll go ahead, copy, paste, CFD station. Okay, I just posted a link for you. There is the 12-month rainfall for everything for all the years, so you should be able to see that there.
Sweet. Real quick, guys, we'll get it going here. Basically, what I want to tell you about real quick, is the service that we're going to be starting January 1st. Log on to our website, bamchase.net, sign up and register. Around the 24th of December, 26th, we'll be sending out an email with a coupon in it. Basically, what this is the normal price is $50 for the year. If you sign up early, we'll be sending you a coupon for a discount. And that's services to the full year of service. We get... stand by.
What's that? Rainy in the 50s.
Amanda wanted to know the weather for Saturday. But you log on to bamchase.net and fill that out. and basically that will give you access to the full high definition streaming, no commercials, all 4 angles of the sky. Brian and I will have live mic during the chase. We'll be able to answer questions. We'll do analysis before and after the chase. We'll post daily forecasts and forecast discussions. And we'll also be launching our weather consulting deal too. We're going to start trying to work with, we've already had several inquiries from local farmers and businesses about getting a personalized forecast together. So get over to bamchase.net and make sure you register so we can get you a special rate. And again, we're talking $50 for the entire year. It's 14 cents a day. So we're not trying to take a lot of money from you, but that's a way to access everything we do, and plus have this high definition stream commercial free. Okay.
And real quick with the account, we've had a couple of questions about this. When you sign up currently right now, you're going to click on the only option, which is free. Click that, sign up, and when we activate the option comes, the week prior to the end of the year or whenever we send the coupon out, we will make that $50 annual fee active, and we'll start everybody from January 1, and then you'll go to January 1 of the next year, so on and so forth. So we'll do a complete year for anybody that starts right around that time. But basically, what we want to do is get you guys on there so we can send you that mass mailer and get you that coupon. You'll still keep that same username and password. So remember the username and password that you sign up with. And if you forget it, we have a forget password thing to reset, so on and so forth. But remember that, because on that page, when you hit the $50 link, it'll have you sign in the username and password at the top. You'll type in you'll hit your information, hit apply. It'll force you out to our PayPal account. You'll put in your credit card information through PayPal. It's not even through our website. We're going through them, and you'll pay up, and then they'll turn around and it'll activate your account instantly. So there's no waiting. As soon as it's done, it's ready to go. So.
And one last point, and we're going to get off here. There still will be some free stuff. We're still going to post basic info on the Facebook page, when we're going to be streaming and forecasts and stuff like that. There's going to be basic information available to you. We're not just going to charge you for everything, but we're going to charge you for the detail and the time we put into it.
And there still will be a free stream also.
Yeah.
We still will be streaming through Severe Studios. As of right now, we are still contracted with them. We will still be streaming with them. You will only have the one dash cam angle, and there is no audio, and it is not high definition. So you guys will still have that available, but again, if you want the high definition stream, and trust us when we say this, we're gonna push the priority to the max to make sure that everything on that high definition stream is functioning more and longer than the rest. So make sure that you still have the free stream, but if you want the multiple angles and the audio and the video and the live chat with us, make sure that you sign up, have access to that.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. We love the questions. Sorry, I dropped my pen. We love the fans. Anytime you have questions, feel free to message us on Facebook. You can tweet me. You can email us. I'll always answer your questions. And we will try and do this again next week, depending on the weather setup. But you can guarantee if it's coming through Indiana, we will be chasing it. So everybody have a great night, and thanks for everything.